So if you told me 2 years ago that Game of Thrones would come back with a vengeance and just absolutely fucking kill it, I would think you're fucking nuts, you're crazy, get out of here, go away. But no, here we are. Game of Thrones, it's doing amazing. Oh my god, I couldn't believe it. I didn't think it would ever, continue to get good. It's Game of Thrones, right? After that horrible ending, after what D&D did to the source material, and just they absolutely fucked everything up. Now they're coming back with this greatness, and Jesus, off in the shit pile corner of Marvel, we have She-Hulk and all of its other shitty shows and movies. In another corner, we have fucking Rings of Power. Everybody fucking hates it. Now they're just hiding reviews now and ratings. Jesus, but no, Game of Thrones is this bastion of good writing now. Apparently, gee, like what's happening? Oh, we're always in a weird timeline, guys. Always, it never stops. Anyway, can't tell you. I like this episode a lot. It was great. It was amazing. In fact, I couldn't believe it. There's so many good things to talk about this episode. Um, I'm gonna try and get through the ones I think that are more important than all the others. Anyway, they're just like good writing, a good plot setup, good battles. All right, let's go. But before that, I'm gonna get through like things that I'm concerned about and I don't like. Big time skip in this episode. Huge time skip. We get a 3 year time skip basically. Wow, that's a lot of time to just brush past things that like weren't talked about in that time frame. So in that time frame of 3 years, we lose like in more the reason I'm like upset is because I the good dialogue that's like being shown in this show is almost like it's getting skipped over in those three years, right? Like I want more of it. So if there was like 3 years of intrigue and like backstabbing and like good fights and stuff that could have been shown in those 3 years. Well, I want that. I want to see it because they're doing a good job so far. It's just that, and again, like 3 years, there's a lot to go through in those 3 years. Like, what happened? What are these characters doing now in 3 years? Who are any more different alliances? Any more enemies between different people. What's happening? And in this episode, we get sort of like revelations in those 3 years. It's just not. There's good dialogue bits like explaining what happened. It doesn't have to go over everything. I understand that. I would just like it to maybe not be like such a huge gap in between like episodes. Because the last episode it was only a 6 month gap. Now it's 3 years. Is the next one going to be 10 years, a decade? How are they going to explain that? And can they do it in a coherent manner that's generally like um, seen as what's the word? I don't want to say good again, but it's done correctly. It generates like a good writing from a writing standpoint. Can they make that exposition in the like their dialogue well? Can they do it well? In this episode, I think they do it well. But like, so in this episode, 3 years go by. The battle with the Crabber escalates between Prince Daemon and House Valerion, and that just happens in this episode. That also gets concluded. So whatever happened in those 3 years, I guess the show is saying that maybe it doesn't particularly matter to the cases that's going to happen in the future and what's going to happen between our characters. I guess that's fine. It's all right. We also get more character stuff with Viserys, King Viserys, and now he has a son. He has a 2-year-old son and another child on the way. Here, let's see if I can get. I'm not going to be using clips because copytisms are always there. There she is. Ooh, all our favorite characters. Don't we love them all, boys? Here we are. There we are. There's his son. He has a son now, and his wife, Valescent, or whatever her name is. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. She has another child. She's got a big boy, dude. Damn, look at that. Look at that thing. Whatever it is, it's huge. Must be a dragon. Jesus. So that's another time skip. That's another. It's just more like things maybe that should have been fleshed out more. before we got to this point, but it's happening now. I guess maybe the show doesn't just want to like. I think it's because of the adaptation between the book and the show, because the book is being told from a perspective that like wasn't even happening in these events. So it was like a. I believe that's how the lore goes. If I'm remembering correctly, um, someone please tell me if I'm not. Um, so that's how it's going. I mean, that's some kind of weird. So they're just trying to adapt it correctly, as in like how the books does it. That's, I guess, adaptation point of view. That's fine. I'm not like upset at that. I just wish there was more things that would have been fleshed out. Um, because I'm worried that if they have like a 10-year time skip, how are they gonna, do that? How are they gonna write like expository dialogue between like a 10-year gap and make it done well between like all our characters? Anyway, I'll get to, like the good parts of the episode. Mostly this episode focuses on King Viserys, and we get lots of characterization for him in this episode. Really good stuff. How he's basically fed up with all the politics of Westeros, and I'm surprised he's still alive because he has that like cancer thing on his hand and his back. He's still fucking kicking, and he seems fine in all his scenes. He can walk properly. He's not like in pain, so it seems. Maybe that'll happen later when it like his condition, I'm guessing, like really speeds up. So far, he's healthy. He's still healthy. He's got a new kid. He's got another kid on the way. His daughter's being, grumpy. um, anyway, this episode focuses a lot on him and his characterization. He's fed up with politics. He was the sort of pushover king. He still kind of is that, but now it's like the weight of all these characters, pressuring him, telling him to what to do, and like giving him advice, and he's just in a position where he doesn't know what to do. He's named Rhaenyra the next king. Now all these other people, like all the big houses, for instance, the Lannisters make their debut. I didn't think right here. Here's our Lannister. I think his name is Jason Lannister. He's the no, that's the other guy. Not him. That's his brother, I think. Whatever. He's not. He's not. Doesn't matter. All the big houses started coming in. I don't think we're gonna see the North though. They don't look that important. Just the Lannisters are here now. Um, and they want to marry Rhaenyra because she doesn't have a husband. Viserys is upset. Like, Rhaenyra, you gotta marry someone, bolster alliances to become more powerful, and we gotta become stronger, and so that our reign doesn't end. All this, like, all the politics, all that stuff from like Game of Thrones, first season of Game of Thrones, that we all love and we all know so dearly. And it's great. It's all here. Fuck. It's what else can I say other than this is classic Game of Thrones. This is what people wanted. this is this is what people wanted from the last two seasons of GOT. We didn't get because D&D fucked it up. Even though that was like, all right, there's a lot more context within that statement I just said, but I'll leave that there. Anyway, I think this is prevalent. It's totally understandable why people are liking the show, giving it good ratings compared to all these other shows. It's unparalleled, honestly. But it's maybe this show isn't like a 9 or a 10. It's definitely like a 7 or 8 so far, and it's doing good. It's doing its job well. Anyway, I had a slight tangent. Sorry. Um, we get more Lannisters trying to get more power. Rhaenyra is after the birth, I'm guessing, of King Viserys' new son. She's a little worried about her position as like the heir to the throne. People aren't like speaking to her a lot because a lot of people are like, oh, now that King Viserys has a son, we don't need this queen. But King Viserys hasn't named his son as his heir. Rhaenyra is still his heir. There's a lot of things going on. Rhaenyra has a worse relationship with her friend Alicent, and causing drama. There's just tons of it's the drama, guys. Consequences, actions with consequences, right? What are the houses gonna do if Rhaenyra becomes queen? Right? Are we gonna have two factions again? Now we're gonna have three factions. We're gonna have Prince Daemon with House Valerion. We're gonna have Rhaenyra, and she's gonna bolster allies with herself, and then we're gonna have Viserys' son, and they're gonna fight. And gee, well, all these factions, and things are ramping up. Bad things are about to happen, right? We're still in the setup stage of the show, apparently. Bad things are going to happen for certain, though. We're really like ramping up. Just overall in general, there's a whole lot to like about this episode. It is exactly what we want. Good writing, good characters. There's conflict within the story that it's finally beginning to take real shape within like our story and what's gonna happen in the future. I love it all. If the only complaints I could see about this episode are with the Crabber and the fight between Prince Daemon and the Crabber, and it's been 3 years. All we know is that they're just on the back foot, and then it just easily gets concluded at the end of the episode when Prince Daemon hatches this like kind of weird plan, and he fights the Crabber and fucking beats him to shit, basically. Please don't do this to me. Oh, there was supposed to be music. Copytisms. It happens pretty easily when he wins this battle. Almost a little too easily for like 3 years. If they could just get their dragons to do this thing they did before. Also, what was funny, even though it's been 3 years, what's his name? House Valerion's son that we saw in like episode 1, I think, holding hands with the daughter that was supposed to marry King Viserys. He's like right here. Hold on, we'll get like a nice picture of him. Hold on, right there he is. He looks like he's instead of being 3 years older, he looks like he's maybe 10 years older. He looks like he's in his 20s. I don't know what to say. Maybe a mistake on the writer's parts, or the timeline, because Jesus, he does not look 3 years older from being like a 12-year-old kid. They grow him big and strong in Westeros, guys. All right, we put some miracle growth into our wives' wombs to make our kids grow extra fast. We need to. We need them prepared for war, right? Anyway, I wholly enjoyed this series. Definitely affirm 7 out of 10, I believe. I implore all of you to watch it. Just go watch it. You'll like it so much more than all the shit that's been um infesting our like media these days. Think of all the Marvel and Disney shows, or even the Disney movies that have just encapsulated our culture and how awful they really are. We even like Pinocchio's coming out. What else? That's gonna be a shit show probably. All the other She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Wanda, Doctor Strange, and Multiverse of Madness. Jesus. And we got the Lord of the Rings, and people hate that too. It's getting crazy out there. So it's nice to have a show that like ongoing and current that I can talk about that I like, and that's not like just like festering piece of shit. Um. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Okay, have a good day, and see you guys.